rough estimation in terms of the kind of investment which we are making as an institute or maybe as a department or as a nation in terms of procuring some of the commercial softwares. For example, I come from business school background, and if you look at in most of the business schools, whether it is BBA college or MBA college, we are very much familiar with SPSS software. Even now, I do see a lot of programs happening across India in terms of teaching some of the bivariate as well as multivariate data analysis techniques using SPSS software. But in most of the cases, people are using crack version. They are not procuring the original version. Yes, there are some institutions where they do subscribe, they do procure the original version. But in most of the cases, they were using crack version software. But that is, completely unethical, as well as we are not supposed to use crack version software. Then what is the alternative? Before, let me give you some explanation in terms of thinking about the alternative options. Just look at this figure. There are about 6,000 MBA institutes are functioning in India, including IITs, NITs, IIMs, and then state, central, and then private universities, and so on, according to one of the ACT report. Out of which, let us assume that 2,000 colleges are going to subscribe IBM SPSS base version. So in SPSS, you have base version, standard edition, and then premium version, and then enterprise version. So base version is the lowest one. Even for that, according to last year data, so they were charging close to 77,000 per user license. Let us assume that people are going to procure 60 user licenses in 2,000 colleges. If you multiply this 2,000 with 60 users and this 77,000, it is coming around 924 crores. Similarly, there are institutions wherever they're running business analytics program or maybe engineering courses, they use MATLAB standard version, which is costing 62,000 per year. Similarly, IBM SPSS modular is one of the commercial software, commercial package, which is heavily used in data science programs as well as in business analytics programs. So if you look at everything put together, it is coming around 2,297 crores. So the reason why I'm sharing this particular figure here is basically this money is going away from India. So what is the alternative solution? What I'm trying to emphasize here is when you're using commercial packages or maybe commercial softwares, you have to spend some money either from your packet or either from the government packet. Otherwise, I don't think so you will be able to subscribe or maybe procure any of the softwares. But what is the alternative solution available? For example, when you want to replace SPSS software, there are some alternative packages. For example, Blue Sky Statistics is another free software, which is completely free to the end user. Of course, the package is coming from one of the commercial company. In fact, the founder is from India, but settled in US. And Jamovi is again another very good software that can also completely replace your SPSS version. And then you have something called JASP. So this project, it's a kind of open source project managed by University of Amsterdam. Even with the help of this particular package also, one can easily replace this SPSS software. And there are other packages also available in the literature, but I'm not bringing all those packages here. So what I'm trying to convey here is only the change which we are expecting from the participant is you need to change your mindset. So you may be familiarized with IBM SPSS software, or you may be having much exposure or expertise in terms of using SPSS software. But here again, one more disclaimer statement is I'm not against to any of the commercial platforms. So what I'm proposing here is wherever it is possible, you try to make use of some of the open source packages. With the help of that, you could able to save some money to your institute. At the same time, you can also do some national level saving. That's the point I'm trying to convey here. So with this brief introduction, let me show you some more resources. So this all the other free softwares that is completely, available to the end users at free of cost. Jamovi is one of the software which I can strongly recommend you to get some exposure. JASP is another software. Blue Sky Statistics is another software. There are some issues with PSPP, but this is also completely free. Then for econometrics people, this Greater is again another user-friendly software. This Bayesian regression, close to 100 plus Bayesian models can be performed with the help of this particular software. This was created by one of the US university professor, I guess University of Illinois. Then, of course, you know that R and Python are completely free. This NIME is a kind of data science package. This is exactly similar to your SAS E-miner or SPSS modeler. This is also completely free to the end user. With the help of this package, also one can run the entire data science program. That is possible. Of course, in Python and R, we may have to do a little bit of coding, but even within R also, there are some user-friendly packages that are available. For example, when you use this R commander package within RStudio or maybe R, you get the menu-driven options to perform everything. Another commonality between these three softwares are they use R packages on the background, and then they have created an interface. That is nothing but something similar to SPSS, where you get the menu-driven options to perform everything. So this is a small, brief introduction about understanding why we need to go for open source software and so on. If you need more details in terms of getting some handholding on learning this Zamovi software or JSP, Blue Scale Statistics, you please visit my YouTube channel. My channel ID is just type Murugan Pattusamy in YouTube. You will be able to get this channel ID. Here I have created a few playlists. 1 year ago I have created. After that I was not getting kind of time to update some more videos under this playlist. So the entire playlist is devoted for Zamovi. Then this playlist is devoted for understanding JSP. And this playlist is devoted for understanding Blue Scale Statistics. So to understand this Zamovi tutorials, you just visit this package. You visit this page, and then you will be able to get everything, whatever I'm going to show you, maybe for the next 1 hour, 20 minutes. Are results of JSP and Zamovi accepted universally? Accepted especially for PhD thesis? Very good question, Professor Charu Maheshwari. So let me give you an evidence based on one of my previously published paper. So if you look at this particular paper, this is one of my co-authored paper, which was published in one of the A category journal according to ABDC ranking. So here we have used one of this open source packages. Let me straight away, this is the model we have tested. So I'll go to the method section, data analysis section. See, just look at the analytical procedures. Using Zamovi 1.8.2, we carried out confirmatory factor analysis to assess the discriminant validity of the constructs and so on. So the entire analysis for this particular paper was carried out with the help of Zamovi software. And there are other papers also available in the literature. See, the thing which you need to understand here is whether, the results are not biased. Whether the results are not biased. So that's the thing you need to understand. And unless you change the estimation technique, whether you use SPSS or Zamovi or JASP, nothing will change in terms of your output is concerned. So, it's up to you whether you want to use JSP or Zamovi. So any one of the software you can use it. I do follow your, okay. And one more disclaimer statement here is, I'm not going to teach you any statistics here. So this session is devoted for understanding 30-20% of the data analysis part and the remaining 70 or 80% of the software usage. So that is how I have structured my entire session content. I do not have any PPT. So straight away, I'll go into the software and then I'll demonstrate everything, how best you can also make use of this software. And one more beauty of using this Zamovi JAS software is, you have the cloud version also. For example, in the case of JAS software, you have the cloud version. So cloud version in the sense, for example, sir, I do this teaching in a remote place where people are not having computer or maybe laptop and so on. So in those cases, what you can do is, even students can use their own smart device or maybe smartphone in terms of performing the entire analysis. That is very much possible. So for example, if you go to JASP download menu, here you have the run JSP in your browser. So with the help of this, they can also run the entire analysis in their mobile phone itself. That is possible. But for Zamovi, cloud version is not available at this moment, but they have released a beta version, but the stable version might be released maybe little later. But now I strongly recommend you to use the Zamovi desktop version. So to download the Zamovi software, you go to this home page and then you click Zamovi desktop, and then you can download either one of this package, 2.3.28 solid version or 2.4.8 current version. Any one of the version you can download it, and then you try to install the package in your machine. Then after that, you can start using this particular software. Yeah, meanwhile, any questions from the audience side? See, now and then you can interact with me. Either you can come to the live chat, or maybe you can post your questions in the WhatsApp group. Sorry, chat window. Anything is fine with me. Meanwhile, let me also share the link to download the data set, which I'm going to use part of this particular session. So participants can use this particular link to download the data set in SPSS file format as well as Excel file format. The reason why I'm sharing SPSS file format is in Zamovi as well as ZASP, you can also import the file from multiple file format. That is possible. I'll also give you some more explanation when I start using the Zamovi software. Yeah, meanwhile, any questions from your side? I hope you are able to hear me properly as well as you are able to see the screen. Because on the background, a lot of things are happening. They were celebrating some festival here, Onam festival. So I can't stop them in between because I reached my school exactly at 6:15. Then after that, finding another location where I can comfortably do the session is really difficult here. So here I have good bandwidth. So that's the reason I'm sitting in my office. Yeah. Are you getting any background noise?
No, sir. It is very clear.
Okay. That is fine. Yeah. Thank you so much. So let me start with the session. I hope you are able to see the screen. So this is what your Zamovi software. Before that, let me show you something about the data set. So these are the 3 files which I have shared through the Google Drive link in the chat window, Gmeet chat window. So if you open this paper, PDF file, this is one of my old paper, which I have published very long back in 2015. So based on this paper reference only, I have shared the data set. Basically, this study consists of 2 different data sets. One was collected among the Indian participants, and then another one was collected among the US participants. So I just shared the US participant data by masking some of the variables. So this is the model I have tested part of this particular study, and the scale information and then the demographic profile information, all those things are reported in this paper. So for more details, you can go through this paper. Now let me open the data set in Excel file format. So if you look at this Excel file data set, so I have gender variable, age, marital status, and then educational level. And this gender, marital status, education level, all of these variables are categorical in nature. And this age is measured with the help of asking an open-ended question like, what is your age? So this is a continuous measure, a ratio type of measure. And I have constructs like job satisfaction. Job satisfaction was measured using 3 items, JS1, JS2, JS3. Throughout this questionnaire, I have used 1 to 7-point rating scale. I have used like a response anchor format in terms of gathering the information. And then I do have family satisfaction, life satisfaction, and then work-family balance. And then the average scores for work-family balance, job satisfaction, family satisfaction, and life satisfaction. These are the scores I have in my data set. Up to this, any questions? I know that I'm going a little faster. Like SPSS, do we need to... Sorry, ma'am?
It is okay, sir. We are in the flow.
Yeah, fine. So there's a question posted in the chat box. Like SPSS, do we need to note ordinal, scale, nominal? Yes, I'll come back to that point. Please wait for some time, Professor. Let me show you that also. So this is what your Zamovi window. So I'm not showing the way how you can also download and install the package, because to download the software, you need to wait for at least 5 to 10 minutes. The file size is close to 250 MB or maybe 300 MB, depending upon your internet bandwidth. So you may have to wait for some 5 to 10 minutes. So if you look at this, Zamovi website, so here you do have additional resources. You have a free user guide, Zamovi library, and then other community resources are available. And there are some testimonials also available here. And there are people like us who have created some YouTube channel link, as well as they have posted some of the reading materials. So all those things were collated here. So for more details, you can also go through this particular location in terms of getting some idea about Zamovi. There are a lot of resources are available from this particular site. Yeah. Now, after installing the software, you get this window. You will be able to get this particular window. So one side you have the data window, another side you have the output window. So in SPSS, here you will have a two tab. One is data tab, and then another one is your output tab. Like output window or maybe variable window. But here you have this data window and then you have the output window. So the modality of using this Zamovi software is very simple. If you look at this right-hand side top corner option, you have these three dots. So here you could do some changes. For example, if you want to change the numbering format, you can do that. And then how many decimal points you want to keep it in the p-value. So those things and all, you can do it here. And then if you go to this particular section, you have a plus symbol on the right side top corner. So this is nothing but modules. When you click this modules, you get two different menus here. One is Zamovi library and then manage installed. So this manage installed is nothing but whatever may be the packages I have installed so far in this machine, all those packages will be visible here. And if you go to available, you will be able to locate a lot of packages from this particular available menu, where you can also install that particular package in your machine, and then you get that particular menu driven option over here under the analysis tab. For example, I'm going to run some path analysis. If you want to install this path analysis, you just click install, you locate the particular package, and then you just click install. And then here you get this menu called SIM. So this is the path analysis menu, path analysis package, which we have installed right now. So here straight away, you can do the path analysis with the help of a menu driven option. Similarly, if you go to Zamovi library, if you want to download and install other packages, for example, let me locate CFA and SIM package. See, for example, if you want to do some kind of psychometric analysis, you can also use this particular package. And then for multivariate exploratory data analysis, here you get the principal component correspondence analysis, and then multiple factor analysis. All those things can be done with the help of this particular package. If you want to install this, you can also click install. With no time, it will be installed in your machine. So similarly, if you want to install some other packages, there's a package called mediation and moderation also. Let me show you that package here. See, even meta-analysis one can do with the help of this package. Let me install the survey plot package also. And that, yeah, this is the module for mediation and moderation analysis. You can also install this. And then you do have Bayesian method and then advanced mediation analysis. This package was recently added to this Zamovi library. Keep on, they're also trying to add a lot more things here. And then you have the SIM package here. So I'm just installing SIM. So now you will be able to see the SIM package over here. See, after the installation, you will get an additional menu over here. See, this is also installed now. And then if you want to install R editor, you can use this Zamovi software as a R platform, where you can also type some syntax and then you can run everything. That is also possible. So this is the way how you can also install some of the record packages in your machine, and then you can do whatever maybe the kind of analysis you want to do it for your research or maybe for your teaching. So let me look at the chat window. Meanwhile, yeah, there are no more questions. Any questions so far? Any questions? Good to go?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So now let me show you how to basically import the data set. Then after that, I'll explain one by one slowly what are the things you can also do here. To import the data set, you have this three horizontal lines here, right? On the left hand side top corner, you go there and then click open. You will be able to get this particular menu. You click browse. So my data set is available from my OneDrive folder. Within that, I do have a subfolder called Data Analysis Workshops. So here under 2023, I have Jain College folder. Yeah. So here is my data set. So now I'm just connecting this particular data set. Click open. This file is in use. So let me close this file and then I select this file and then click open. So now this Excel file will be imported into your Jamovi window. This is a way how you can import the data. This is one of the way. Similarly, you can also import that SPSS file format. So here I have SPSS file format, right? You just select this file and then click open. So your SPSS file version of the data will be imported here. This is a way how you can import the data set into your Jamovi window. Any questions? I'm just closing the unwanted windows.
Sir, if possible, please repeat one time.
Yeah, I'll repeat, ma'am. Just a minute. So you go to this. Okay. Meanwhile, let me create a split the screen option in my screen so that one side I can have the Gmeet window and then another side I can have my Jamovi. Let me share the Jamovi window for the end users. Yeah, I hope now you are able to see the, sorry. Yeah, I hope now you are able to see the Jamovi software. Able to see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So one side I have my, I mean, it's an ultra wide monitor, so I can have two different things in the single screen. So left side I have my Gmeet window. So keep on, you can also post any questions if at all you have something, so that I can see the questions now and then. Yeah. Fine. So I hope now you are able to see everything properly. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Fine. So now, if you look at this particular window, you just go to the left-hand side top corner and then click open. So here you will get this option. So here you just click browse and then you try to locate your folder, I mean local drive folder. From there, you just select the file, whatever may be the data set you want to import it to the window. You just select that file. Here, if you look at these many file formats can be imported here. Jamovi files can be imported, comma delimited format files can be imported, JSON files format, open document. If you are using LibreOffice, even those sort of files can be imported here. Excel, SPSS, or data files, SAS, JAS files, and so on. These many file formats can be supported in Jamovi software. So my data set is in Excel file format. So I'm just selecting, click open. So now you'll be able to see the window. Able to understand?
Yes, sir.
So now let me show you some of the basic things related to this particular window, and then we'll have some more discussion. So if you look at this left-hand side part, you must remember this particular point. So for example, if you're treating one of the variable as a categorical variable, you must define that particular variable as a categorical variable. So how do we do that? So for example, if you go here, you just move your cursor and then you just right click your mouse, and then here you have an option called setup. You have an option called setup. You just click setup, you will get this window. So if you want to give any description for this variable, you can also type. So I know that gender is a nominal type of variable. So here I must select nominal. I must select nominal. If for example, since I have numerical values here, if you would have selected continuous option for gender means, so for example, I'm trying to do a t-test for gender with respect to one of the score that is available under this particular section. What will happen is system will not accept this particular variable as an IV in your t-test or maybe ANOVA model. Are you getting my point? So that's the reason it's a must condition to specify your variables before you start doing any sort of analysis, whether it is an advanced analysis or basic analysis, it can be anything. So here, let me keep this variable as a nominal type of variable, and then age is continuous. So as it is looking like continuous only. So need not to change anything. And the marital status, I want to keep it as a categorical variable. Already it is kept it as categorical only. So need not to change anything. And if you look at this JS1, JS2, JS3, all those things are considered as continuous variable. So need not to do any changes here. So this is the way how you can do this job. Now, when you want to create new column of information with the help of existing columns, you can go to this variables, and then if you want to edit one of the cell within the data, you can also select one of the variable, and then you go inside into it, and then you can enter whatever may be the changes you want to do. That is possible. And when you want to compute something, here you can bring in some of the formulas. These are the formulas available here. Math formulas available here, similar to your SPSS formulas like mean, median, those sort of formulas also available. So with the help of this formula, or you can also create your own logic in terms of doing anything. That is also possible. So for that, you can use this compute option. If you want to do transform, for example, the source variable which I want to use here is JS1, and then what sort of transformation you want to do. For example, if you look at create transformation, so here you have multiple conditions. I mean, you can actually use if condition. For example, I have a continuous variable. If the variable score is above 5 point something, so you assign one value. If the value is less than 5, you assign 0. For example, if you want to create some categorical variables or maybe dummy variables, you can also use this transform function, and then you can use this if condition, else condition, and so on. Those things also you can do it here. Then you go back to data menu. So this is unwanted thing. So let me delete this. When you want to delete unwanted column, you simply click delete. So that will be discarded from the data set. So here also I'm just deleting. This is a way how you can discard it. So now I have the original version of the data set here. So now let me start with very basic analysis like frequency analysis. So you go to analysis. In data exploration, you have this option, descriptives, scatter plot, Pareto chart, survey plots, and so on. And then you have this t-test, ANOVA, regression, frequencies, factor analysis. Within the factor, you have confirmatory factor analysis, principal component, reliability analysis, and so on. This is for mediation and moderation. This is for your, other sort of multivariate techniques like principal component and then correspondence analysis, multiple correspondence, multiple factor analysis, and so on. Then you have SEM analysis and so on. Even to perform SEM also, you have syntax option as well as interactive menu option. So here, especially in Zamovi as well as Job software, they use Lavan package on the background in terms of running the entire SEM analysis. See, here what they did was, they just borrowed some of the R packages from the literature, and then they have given, they have used the R packages pseudocodes on the background, and then they have given the menu-driven options to the end users in terms of running whatever may be the sort of analysis they want to do. So that's the innovation they brought it in terms of developing this package called Zamovi or JAS. Whether you are learning Zamovi or JAS software, both are almost the same only in terms of interfaces concerned. And blue sky statistics is exactly similar to your SPSS. There also you will have variable menu and then data menu option. On the other side, you will also get output window, something similar to this. So that's the difference between the three different softwares. You can make use of any one of the software, whatever maybe the software that is really comfortable for you. Maybe you can make use of any one of the software. Even in industries, wherever they are trying to do some basic level of analysis or maybe even advanced analysis, even there also they are trying to use some of the open source packages, but mostly they use R and Python syntax based logic. Reason is they need, I mean, when they want to take the algorithm within the particular package, they have the liberty to do that and they use syntax based option. Whereas here we don't have much provision in terms of picking something inside the algorithm itself. Yeah. Now we'll start with some of the basic analysis. You go to exploration, click descriptive, click descriptive. So if you want to get mean value, standard deviation value for some of your continuous variables, you just drag the continuous variable into the variable box. As and when you include this information in the dialog box, analysis dialog box, on the right hand side, you get the result. It's pretty simple, right? So, for example, here, other statistics can be performed. For example, if you need the summated score for age, you can click this sum. But here it is not making any sense to us, but I'm just showing the provisions. If you need skewness and courtesies data, you just check the checkbox, you put the tick mark, and as and when you finish this task, on the right hand side, you get the output. Similarly, if you need variance, range, interquartile range, and then univariate normality test using Shapiro-Wilk test statistic, so all those things you can get it here. Similarly, if you want to create some plots, for example, for continuous data, one can also create the histogram and then density plot. As and when you check this on the right hand side, you will be able to get the particular plot. So for example, if you uncheck density, the density curve will go away from the graph. So this is what your histogram. Similarly, if you want to create QQ plot, so here you do have that option just to check the normality. We use this QQ plot. There are other sort of plots can be created here. So these many provisions are available in this option itself. So now I want to get the values for few more variables. For example, work-family balance, job satisfaction, family satisfaction, and life satisfaction. As and when you include all of these variables into the variable menu, another column of information will be added here, and then you get the outputs. If you want to uncheck some of the unwanted things, you just uncheck the unwanted things. That will go away from your results. So it's a kind of dynamic platform. As and when you include something, your result will be updated. As and when you exclude something, your result will be updated. So this is the logic you can follow. For example, I want to have the rows, variables in rows, not in columns. So here you have this option. You just select this. Your output will be rearranged something like this. Simply, you can copy paste this particular table in your thesis or maybe paper. For example, you get the table output in APA standard, in APA format itself. So this is a way how we report anything in our paper. For example, I'll show you the typical paper where I have reported one of the See, for example, if you look at this particular paper, let me share the entire screen. See, if you look at this paper, in any standard journal article, the first table would be descriptive statistics. See, mean, standard deviation, correlation values are reported here. So when you want to create this mean standard deviation values for your study variables, so what you can do is in Jamovi, simply you keep only those variables and then you uncheck whatever you don't want to report it in the table. So after unchecking everything, So this is the table you're getting. You have the mean value, standard deviation, minimum, maximum also I don't need. So these are the two column of information I want to get it from this particular output. Now, how do I save this result? How do transform this, transport this particular table from this place to another place in the sense my Word file and so on. So how do you do that? So what you can do is you just copy, right click your mouse and then you get this option called copy. This is one of the way how you can copy this table. And then you open a Word file. And then click Control D or just right click and then paste. This table will be pasted here. So this is a way how you can copy paste something in your Word file. Another option is here you have this option called export. When you click export, it will ask you to save this file in different file format, whether you want to save it in web page format or PDF file format. You have to locate a file. You have to provide the file location as well as file name to save this particular file in your PC. Another option is you have this add note. So if you want to give some interpretation within this window, for example, the above table shows. For example, you want to create some handout within Zamovi. So what you can do, just for your teaching purpose, you want to do this. So what you can do is just below the table, just below the graph, or above the table, or above the graph, you can also right click and then you can click create note and then simply you type whatever you want to type it here. So that gets saved. For example, if you want to save this entire output, you just right click and then you click export and then you select the file location where you want to save this. I'm going to save this output in PDF file format. Now, if you go back to the folder where I have saved this file, you will be able to get this. See, this is the file I have saved now. So I'm just opening. So this is a PDF file I have saved. So whatever I have typed, and then the results, everything is available in the PDF window. So basically, here itself, you can type everything, and then you just create a PDF file, and then it can go as one of the tutorial or maybe written hand note for your students. So there's a way how you can make use of this particular software. Any questions so far? Any questions?
So can we edit the table?
To edit the table, here we don't have much options, sir. For example, when you right click this table or right click, you have copy and export option only, sir. But when you want to change the decimals and other things, you can go to this 3 dots and then here you have some provision. For example, number format. If you click 4, so the results will be in 3 decimal plus one more number will be appearing before the decimal. If you select 5, you able to understand this difference, sir?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the purpose is sometimes, when we are pasting it Word, it may differ. For example, in APS style, we need to change the table. In Harvard style, we need to change the table.
Yeah, that you can do it in word processing software, sir, after copy pasting the table.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Even to copy paste the table from Zamovi, my suggestion is don't directly come to Word file.
Okay.
You go to Excel.
Okay.
And then you paste this table in your Excel.
Okay.
Right? So there are some unwanted columns are generated here. Okay. This I have communicated to Zamovi team to work on something. For example, in the Word file, if you select this option, see in between there are some dummy columns available, dummy cells are available, right? So those sort of dummy columns and dummy cells you can easily identify with the help of Excel. Now you copy this. Now you copy this and then come back to Word and then you paste it. So this will be a kind of proper table. Able to understand the difference between first table and then the third one, sir?
Yeah, yes, I got it. Yeah.
But in Zamovi, we don't have that provision to edit, sir. For example, in SPSS, you can go to properties and then you can also edit the values. But the results which you have obtained, I don't think so that can be edited. But if you want to add some, for example, you're working on a plot, you want to change the x-axis title, y-axis title, those sort of editing can be done in SPSS. But here, those provisions are not available, Professor, as far as my understanding. Fine, Professor?
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So now let me move on to the next part. Yeah, meanwhile, any questions? Able to understand the user interface?
Yes, sir.
Except me, nobody is showing their face. There's a kind of culture these days whenever we do some online session. Anyway, that's fine. So now let me go back to the movie software. So now let me show you one more thing using the same descriptive option. For example, sometimes we also report something called how many percent of male and female population is living in my data set. So when you want to create frequency tables, so you just include the categorical variable here and then click frequency tables. So here you get the frequency table. Able to see this frequency table?
Yes, Professor.
This is a way how you can do this. So now let me show you one more thing. For example, I need the age of the respondents on the basis of their gender. This is kind of split file option. This is a kind of split file option. For example, in gender, I have 1 and 2 category. So here you will have, in rows, you will have 1 and 2. See, total number of respondents under first category is 109. Under the second category is 177. How many missing values are available in the age? So 5 here, 3 here. And then what is the mean age for my first category of respondents? That is 54.7. For the second category of respondent, the mean age is 47.0. So this is a way how you can also get some ready-made output from Jamovi software by using this split file option. So in the split file dialog box, you are supposed to include only categorical variables. You can't include continuous variable. Able to understand? Make sense? For example, I have an overall score for work family balance. I just want to have a look. How about the work family balance perception among male and female? So in my case, this 2 is referring female, 1 is referring male. If you look at the mean value for second category, that is for female, the work family balance perception is really lower than the male people. For male, I'm getting 5.12 as a mean score for work family balance construct. And for female category, I'm getting 4.61 as mean. So this is a way how you can get this value. For example, if you want to remove some of the unwanted things, you can also uncheck all those bugs. So here you're getting only mean and the standard deviation. So this is a way how you can get this output with the help of this split by option. Any questions? Shall I move on to the next part?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So for example, now let me show you a simple independent sample t-test using this t-test menu. So in independent sample t-test, yeah.
So
yes, sir.
Transform that age, open-ended to class interval data. How to transform?
Why do you want to do that? Often I do see this particular practice in most of the Indian thesis work. See, when you convert any of the continuous data into categorical data, up to some extent we'll be losing some of the information. That is not a best practice basically. So if at all you want to create some groups, you can run clustering or maybe latent profile analysis sort of thing. That will give you the subpopulation that is existing in your given population information. So simply using median split, mean split, or randomly arriving some arbitrary numbers like less than 25 ages first category, 25 to 35 is second category, 35 to 45 is another category, something like that. That is not the correct way of handling the data. But to attain specific objectives of your thesis or maybe research paper, If you want to do that, yes, that can be done. You go to this variables menu, use compute option or transform option. There you have the provision to do this practice using if and else condition. Fine, sir?
Yes, sir. Very nice. Very nice, sir. Very nice.
Yeah, that provision is available, sir. So now quickly, let me show you independent sample t-test. So in any ANOVA model or independent sample t-test, dependent variable is continuous in nature and the independent variable is kind of categorical variable. So I just want to know, are there any significant difference that exists among male and female with respect to their work family balance scores are concerned? So now I'm just including work family balance in the dependent variable box and the gender in the grouping variable box. If you look at the independent sample t-test result, p-value says that 0.007, which means that both the groups are statistically differed because my p-value is less than 0.05. And if you want to get effect size, you can also check this effect size. If you want to get the confidence interval, you can do that. If you want to get the mean values for both the groups, you just check the descriptives that can be done here. And then you can also do the homogeneity test, normality test, all those things can be done by clicking this particular checkbox. As and when you uncheck or check something on the right hand side, you get the output. See, for example, if you look at for the first category, I have the mean score of 5.12. This is for male participants. I think the second category is female. Let me check the paper. I forgot actually. See, in US, male population is lower than the female population, which means that as far as this result is concerned, this one is referring male group, this two is referring female group. So I mean, based on this result, the conclusion is male people are having somewhat higher work family balance, I mean, greater work family balance than the female. But both the groups are having completely two different perspective or perception in terms of perceiving their work family balance because your p-value is significant here. So this is a way how you can infer as well as do the independent sample test. Any questions? Any questions?
Very clear, sir. Very clear.
Yeah. Now let me do the same thing using one-way ANOVA. The difference between one-way ANOVA and the independent sample t-test is very simple. So in independent sample t-test, maximum you can handle only two groups, whereas in one-way ANOVA you can have more than two groups also. So in one-way ANOVA you can have multiple dependent variables also because you get different sort of outputs basically. So here I'm going to consider my work family balance score as one of the dependent variable and gender as one of the grouping variable. Same result only here also I'm getting. When you check this descriptive tables, you get the same mean value. Based on this ANOVA statistics results, whether these two means are differed across these two groups or not. That is what I'm trying to check it here. Yes, it is differed because my p-value is less than 0.05. In fact, this is significant at 0.01 level. So that's the way how you can infer this particular result. Both will do the same thing. If you have more than two groups, in those cases, you can also go for some post-hoc test. As far as this particular tab is concerned, now you have Games Howell test and then Tucky test. These are the two tests available. One is for assuming that your variances are unequal. In another case, your variances are equal and so on. So that you can check by doing the descriptive statistics, and then you can also come back to post-hoc analysis. So when you can use this post-hoc test, when you have more than two groups in your grouping variable. For example, here, I'm not finding any significant difference with respect to my grouping variable is concerned. So need not to go for any post-hoc test because almost all of these means are similar across the groups. So here I'm not getting much difference. So with respect to marital status, let me see, are there any differences coming? So with respect to marital status, with respect to US data is concerned, I have single as one of the category, married as another category, living together as another category, divorced as another category. Like that, there were about 6 categories are available. If you want to string some of the categories into one, yes, that can be done. But here also I'm not finding any difference. But if you want to see the differences across the groups, you can perform this post hoc analysis test. So here you would be able to see the mean difference between this first category and second category, second and third category, something like that. You get the p-value as well as the mean difference value here. This is a way how you get the post hoc test results when you do the one-way ANOVA. So when you use this ANOVA, here you can have n number of fixed factors, but you can have only one dependent variable. For example, still I'm going with this work-family balance, but I'm going to use two different fixed factors, gender as well as marital status. So I get the result here. So none of the variables are significant here. And moreover, the interaction term is also created. And eta square, if you want to get fx value, eta square, so you can also check that you get the eta square, fx value. So nothing is significant here. So that's the reason you are getting really poor fx values here. If you want to create other sort of models, that can be done by clicking this model menu. Similarly, you can check the assumptions and then you can create the contrast. This contrast is nothing but doing some kind of post hoc analysis test only. For example, in gender, considering the group 1 versus marital status group 2, what sort of difference I'm getting. Specifically, if you want to do this contrast test, that can be done here. That is possible. Here also, there are different approaches are available. For more details, you just look at the ANOVA literature. And then you have the save option. So here residuals can be computed and then that can be saved in your data set. That is also possible. So here you do have another provision called Mankova, but using Mankova, you can also do the MANOVA. So the difference between Ankova and ANOVA is when you have a continuous variable on your independent variable side, that becomes your covariate basically. Because under the factors, you can include only the categorical variables. For example, I'm going to develop similar kind of ANOVA model where I'm treating work-family balance as one of the dependent variable and gender as one of the independent variable, and my age is treated as a covariate. My age is treated as covariate. So here, if you look, need multiple responses. It says, yeah, I think I need one more fixed factor here. Yeah. But even then it is showing some error. I don't know the reason. Yeah, since it is MANOVA model, so I need at least more than one dependent variable. That's the reason why I'm getting this error. Yeah. So now what I'm showing here is this is nothing but MANOVA model. So in MANOVA, you can have more than one dependent variable simultaneously, and then you can control some of the variables, continuous variable under the covariate box, and then you can have the category variables under the factors box, and then you can see the differences across groups with respect to your two different dependent variables are concerned. So that can be done with the help of MANOVA. So let me show you Ankova. So here I'm going to do the same thing. Age will be considered as covariate, and only one dependent variable you can have it. That is nothing but my work-family balance. So here, if you want to get the post-hoc test, that is not required because I have only two groups. So whatever may be the difference p-value you are getting here, same thing only here also you will be getting. So this is not significant because 0.093, which is above the cutoff limit, that is 95% confidence limit. So not much difference is existing between both the gender group when you control your age. I hope now you are able to understand the differences between by running simple independent sample t-test versus Ankova. So in Ankova model, what we are trying to do is internally what is happening here is this age difference will be controlled on your work-family balance score. For example, if a person is coming under male category, and if the person is having low age group, there is a tendency that their work-family balance perception could be higher, comparing the age-old people or comparing the mid-aged people, those are having children at home and so on. Are you getting my point? So literature also says that age is playing some role in terms of explaining work-family balance. Unless you capture this control, unless you control this particular covariate in your model, whatever may be the interpretation you are going to provide with respect to seeing the differences, mean differences across both the groups, like male and female, that is dubious result only. So for that reason only, we are trying to control this covariate in the model. So now model says that, I mean, without the covariate, we got significant difference, but after controlling this age, we are not getting any significant difference in the model. This is a way how you can do ANOVA, independent sample t-test, and then ANCOVA, and so on. Any questions so far? How to transform the open-ended question, age to, I think I have responded, Professor.
So you answered that question.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now let me move on to the next part. So I'll show you how to create, simple bivariate correlation table. So you go to regression menu, you have this correlation matrix. You just include your study variables here. The average scores. As and when you include the average scores, you get the correlation matrix here. So since my data is continuous in nature, so I'm using Pearson. If you have rank ordered sort of data, you can use Spearman correlation. So anything is fine. So instead of reporting the p-value, I just want to flag the significant correlations so that as it is, I can report it in my EasySAT paper. So now what you can do is you copy this table, go back to Excel, and then you do some fine tuning, like removing this unwanted columns, removing this set of unwanted columns, okay, and then you copy this table and then come back to Word and then you paste this table. So now your correlation matrix is ready. So this is the way how you will be able to get this correlation matrix. So manually you can also replace these values with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this you can name it as work family balance. This you can name it as job satisfaction. This you can name it as family satisfaction. This you can name it as life satisfaction. This is the way how you can do the naming. The reason why the stars are disappeared from the cell is I have removed some of the unwanted columns from here, right? Basically those columns are containing the stars. I know that everything is strongly significant here. So simply I can manually also place the triple stars everywhere. Just copy this, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here, paste it here. This you can use the numbering format, and then you can also convert this table into APA file format, no border, and then bottom border, top border, and here one more bottom border, here also one more bottom border, and this bottom I don't need. Fine. Now your correlation matrix is ready. This is a way how you can report your results. So if you want to do some more alignment, you can also do that. So I'm just using left alignment here. And if you want to expand this column further, you can also expand this column so that variable names will be printed in a single line. So this is the way how you can create the table in APA style format. But in APA, we should not keep this 0 before the decimal. Getting the logic? So now let me show you how to perform factor analysis, and then I'll show you how to do regression. Meanwhile, any questions? Now at least getting some confidence in terms of using this software.
Yes, sir.
Somebody has raised their hand.
Yes, sir.
Sugata Kumari ma'am, do you have any questions? I think you have raised your hand. So here my humble submission is, don't stop this learning within yourself. Please spread this awareness among your own colleague as well as your institute authorities, top level management. Either it can be your HOD or head of the department or dean or principal, or it can be anything, so that they can also put some pressure among the faculty to learn some of the open source softwares, so that from the end user, I mean student side, as well as from the management side, you need not to spend not even single rupee from your pocket. So don't think that, see, for example, let us assume that in Kishore Sir College, they're subscribing some 60 user license of SPSS. Maybe they may be having perpetual license or subscription based also, they may be subscribing the software. For 60 user per year, approximately they are paying 1 lakh rupee. So 60 into 1 lakh, they are spending 60 lakh rupee. So this 60 lakh rupee can be saved on some other, saved by the institute, and then the 60 lakh can be repopulated against some other activity, maybe creating a new building or increasing the salary of the faculty members. It can be anything that is possible. Don't think that why I should save some money to my institute and so on. So don't have this sort of mindset. But there's a nationwide objective behind this particular process. So when you do this, if each and every institutes are going to do some kind of saving at their level, so what will happen is at the end of the day, as a country, we are saving a lot of money within our nation. Because this money is not going away from India, because none of the commercial softwares are produced by Indian organizations. Of course, they are giving employment opportunity to some of the Indian people, but how much of revenue sharing they are doing? Hardly, really minimal amount. So based on this particular hidden agenda, hidden objective only, I'm proposing this particular session. You please try to create some awareness among your community, and then you try to teach something to your colleagues or maybe students in terms of using this sort of softwares. Nothing wrong in sharing this particular video also. I hope they'll be sharing the recorded content of this particular video. Just share it among your participants. But watching the 1 hour lengthy, 1.5 hour lengthy video is really difficult. Better what they can do is they can also visit my YouTube channel. You need not to subscribe my channel. You need not to put like and all. So there's a purpose. So I want to communicate something to the community. So I just created the YouTube channel and then I'm uploading the videos. So that is not for any monetary benefit. So, you are free to share anything among your colleagues. So now let me show you how to run factor analysis. So let me use this factor option. Before that, let me show you how to do the reliability analysis. So in reliability analysis, we consider only continuous variables. So I know that job satisfaction is measured using these 3 items. So as and when you include these 3 items, you get the Cronbach alpha value here. And if you want to get this McDonald's omega, this McDonald omega is nothing but in CFA analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, we get this McDonald's omega value using this formula, like sum of lambda whole square divided by sum of lambda whole square plus sum of error. So with the help of that, you would be able to compute some value. That value is nothing but McDonald's omega. In same literature, we used to refer that particular value as composite reliability or construct reliability. Same value only, you're also getting it here. Then if you want to get the mean and standard deviation for your this particular construct, you can also get it at the construct level. And then at the item level also, you can get all those things. For example, in scale development process, we also report something called item risk correlation value. Even that can be reported, generated here. With the help of that, you can do this. And if you want to understand if an item is deleted, what would be the probable Cronbach alpha value? For example, the current Cronbach alpha value is 0.876. If you drop job satisfaction item 2, your Cronbach alpha value is 0.801. So this sort of analysis also you can perform by using this different menus. Another beauty of using this Zamovi software is, for example, in SPSS, if your item is reverse coded one, reverse coded meaning is one of the statement is negatively phrased. Rest all other statements are positively phrased items. So for the negatively phrased item, what we are supposed to do is using the recode into different variable option or recode into same variable option, you have to reverse the coding. So 5 become 1, 4 become 2. If you're using 5-point scale, so this is the logic we'll be using. So the logic is very simple. So if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So 1 will be recoded into 5, 2 will be recoded into 4, 3 will be recoded into 3, 4 will be recoded into 2, 5 will be recoded into 1, and so on. This is the way how we do the recoding in SPSS. But here the option is very simple. For example, this JS3 is one of the reverse coded items. You include this JS3 here, and then in the reverse scaled item box, you just include this JS3 in the reverse scaled item box. So automatically system will take care of this particular issue. Are you getting my point? You need not to manually recode anything here. Simply, it will do the recoding. And at the end of the column, we would like to get the summated score or average score. How do you do that? You go to save option. If you want to get mean score, you just click mean score. You get the mean score at the end of the data set. Or if you want to get the summated score, you also get the same thing at the end of the data set. For example, if you go to your data, the last two columns are nothing but right now we have created the scores. No, this is JS mean, this is JS total score. So if you want to rename this variable, you just go here and then JS underscore mean score. This is the label I'm giving. For this, I'll give JS sum. So this is the way how you get the values at the end of the column. So this is the way how you can also do the reliability analysis. Any questions? It's pretty simple and straightforward, right? Any questions? Fine. So now if you want to do some regression, so let me show you a linear regression model. So where I'm going to consider my life satisfaction as one of the dependent variable, and my job satisfaction, and then my family satisfaction, and then my work family balance will be treated as three different independent variables. I do not have any categorical variables here. If you want to include some of the categorical variables in your regression model, you just bring that variable under the factors window. But if you're using SPSS, there you have to create the dummy code. But here you need not to create the dummy code. System will take care of that particular dummy coding part internally. Simply you just drag that variable. Whatever may be the coding you're using as far as your categorical variables are concerned. So here automatically for each and every categories, you get the result. For example, I'm including marital status as one of the factors here. For each and every category, you get the mean difference, and one of the category will be considered as a base category. That base category is nothing but your first category in marital status. In gender, the first category is considered as a base category. So in dummy variable regression, how do we infer this result? Let me show you. For example, without any covariates, the result which you are seeing here, without any covariates, the result which you are seeing here is exactly equivalent to your ANOVA model. So basically, the mean difference which I'm getting between my first category of gender and second category of gender for life satisfaction score is minus 0.239. So which means that this intercept is nothing but 5.544. This is one of the category mean score. That is nothing but the first category mean score. Let me go back to descriptives and then I'll show you this difference practically. So I'm just keeping LS here, and then in the split option, I'm keeping gender. So I don't need missing all those things. I just need only the mean value here. If you look at the mean value, this is the mean value you are getting, right? 5.54 and then 5.31. For the first category, 5.54. For the second category, 5.51. Now, you just look at the mean difference between this value minus this value. It will be 0.23 something equal to this value minus this value, 0.23 negative. Same result only, there also you are getting it in the output. Fine. If you go back to the regression output with only the categorical dummy, see minus 0.239 only I'm getting. This difference is not significant. This 5.544 is referring your one of the category mean value, that is nothing but your first category. That is nothing but your first category. So this is how you can understand the interpretation of dummy variable regression. But I do not have much time to explain something more about dummy and other related aspects. So I'm just skipping that particular part. Now just look at the regression results. So to include the continuous variable, you just use covariate. To include the categorical variables, you just use the factors. And then here you have the model builder. You can also run hierarchical regression using this Zamovi software. I have uploaded a video to understand how to provide variable information under different blocks. I mean, in terms of running the hierarchical regression analysis. So please watch my video. And then here you can also do a lot of assumption check. If you want to get the collinearity statistics, you can also check that. And then if you want to get the model fit, like a root mean square error value, overall model test with F test statistics, adjusted R square, AIC, BAC value, all those things you can also check here. And if you want to get the standardized estimate, that is nothing but beta value in your coefficient table, you can check this standardized estimate. And ANOVA test for the entire model can be generated here. And the save option is nothing but if you want to get the predicted values based on this particular regression equation, you can also check this predicted value option so that it gets saved in your data set. If you look at the last column, this is all nothing but my predicted scores. This is a way how you get the regression output. But if you look at the coefficient table, all of my p values for work-family balance, job satisfaction, family satisfaction, everything is significant, and the beta value is coming like this. So using this table, I can also generate the equation, my regression equation. Let me show you how to do that. So here my equation is y equal to 0.17 constant plus 0.096 work family balance plus 0.27 job satisfaction plus 0.541 family satisfaction. This is what my regression equation. Able to understand? If you want to keep parentheses, you can also do that. Whatever may be the way you want to present this result in your paper or manuscript, you can do like this also. Fine? Able to understand? So this is what your regression equation. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So now quickly I'll show you any questions related to this particular analysis. And here one more beauty is you can also get residual values, outlier data points, Cook's distance, all those things can be saved in your data frame itself. That is also possible. And you can also get the Cook distance summary statistics result here. And autocorrelation test, you can do QQ plot of residuals, normality test, residual plots, all those things you can also create it in the output window. So now let me show you how to do the principal component analysis. So you know the purpose of running factor analysis. So basically I'm trying to make sure that whether I'm getting the structure which I'm trying to get it from my data. Basically I'm providing the item level information here, and I'll be using Varimax rotation. If you're using PCA, better to use Varimax rotation. If you're using exploratory factor analysis, better to use Promax rotation. And I know that here there are 4 factors are available. So straightforward manner, I'm asking the system to produce 4-factor solution. And I want to hide the loadings, anything less than 0.5, so that the table will be really good in terms of inferring the result. And if you want to get your Bartlett test, KMO test, all those things also you can get it from this particular option. And there are some cross-loading issues I'm getting here. If you look at LS1, LS2, that is cross-loaded with family satisfaction. The reason why those two items are creating this issue is both the items are actually exactly same, more or less same. Reason is life satisfaction is a construct which consists of your entire job satisfaction as well as family satisfaction. So some of the items also getting repeated here. That's the reason why I'm getting some cross-loading here. And then if you need scree plot, you can check the scree plot. If you want to save the component scores, factor scores, you check this box in your data set. At the end, you will be able to get the factor scores. So how do you identify the factor score? For example, the first factor is related to work family balance. You go here and then you can rename the score component 1 as work family balance score. There's a way how you can rename this. Similarly, for rest of the things, you can also rename it. And here also, if you want to get some more additional outputs like component summary and then component correlation, all those things you can do. Recently, in one of the paper, I have seen that they have reported something called based on parallel analysis. So this concept is somewhat easy to understand. This parallel analysis is nothing but kind of simulation modeling. I'm not bringing anything related to this parallel analysis result here. So this is what your parallel analysis result. But for more details, you just look at the literature to understand this. Again, part of this session, this is not my objective. So I'm just leaving that particular part. So this is the result I'm getting. Similarly, if you want to do the exploratory factor analysis, use the same logic. So I'm going to include the variables in my variable box. So here, let me use principal axis with the Promax rotation. I know that I have 4 factors here. So I'm asking the system to produce 4-factor solution. KMO Bartlett test of sparsity also you can create it. And if you want to save this factor scores, you can also do this. And then hide the loadings, anything less than 0.5. So here I'm getting even more better solution. If you look at this table, just look at component 1 is representing my work family balance. Component 2 is referring my life satisfaction items. Component 3 is referring family satisfaction items. Component 4 is referring my job satisfaction items. This is the way how you can run this analysis. Yeah, any questions? So again, here the focus is not to discuss. See, I spent 3 hours time to teach, at least bare minimum 3 hours to teach regression or factor analysis. But here we don't have much time to, explain the basic concepts underpinning factor analysis as well as regression. So here my focus is again and again, I'm saying this, my focus is on explaining the software part. So how to use the movie software in terms of running the analysis. See, to run cluster analysis, you look for a clustering package. I'm not sure whether the clustering package is included here. For that, you can go to Jamovi library and then you look for cluster. I'm just using the keyword cluster. So here, package is available to run the clustering analysis. So you just install this. So here you get the clustering analysis module. So let it install. Meanwhile, let me show you some more thing. For example, you want to do the mediation. So I'm going to consider my work family balance as one of the X variable. Okay. My predictor, and then my family satisfaction is mediator, life satisfaction is different variable. So I want to get the path estimate. I want to run bootstrap samples. So 5,000 bootstraps, let me use. And then if you want to get the confidence interval, that also you can get it here. And then if you want to get the estimate plot, that also you can check it so that you will get the entire result. Let me show you. Since I have given 5,000 bootstrap sample, so the system is taking more time to produce the result. Yeah, now I got the result. So this is all the direct effect relationship. This is exactly similar to your regression model, basically. And if you look at this indirect effect value, the mediation effect is 0.259. My direct effect is also significant. Indirect effect is also significant. Just look at the p-value. So finally, the conclusion is I'm getting significant mediation effect here, but partial in nature because my direct effect is also significant. And if you look at this estimate plot, here you get the typical mediation diagram along with the test statistics. That is also possible. And if you want to do the moderation analysis, you can also use this moderation tab. With the help of that, you can also perform this. And even to run SEM analysis also, you can use this ZAMOV. Here, I'm not having enough time to showcase this, but you go to my YouTube channel and then you have the SEM analysis using ZAMOV. So it's a 23 minutes video. So this is again based on the same data set and same paper. Use the same data set to run this. If you watch this video, you will be able to understand the way and which how I have performed this structural equation modeling using ZAMOV software. So I'll stop it here. And if you have any questions, let me spare another 7 minutes to answer your questions. See, you have a lot more things there within this package. So for more details, even queue sorting methodology can be performed with the help of ZAMOV. And keep on, they're also trying to add some more packages into this software that is also there. Keep on, the project team is putting a lot of effort in terms of bringing all sort of analytical packages with the menu-driven options. So I think it is going to dominate the market in the near future. Even now in India, a lot of awareness being created, and almost for the, since COVID time, I'm teaching some of the courses related to using this ZAMOV, JASP, and I'm also delivering a lot of talks in part of the HRDCs, Human Resource Development Centers, part of the Open Educational Resources session. So please try to create, once again, my humble submission here is try to create more awareness in terms of using some of the open source softwares, which is completely free to the end user as well as to the institute. And please try to break the myth. Even now, I could see a lot of brochures containing SPSS. So what? So you try to go beyond some of the commercial softwares like SPSS. Again, I'm not completely against SPSS. SPSS is damn good. It's one of the best software. Even now in industries, they use SPSS, but it's a paid software. Unethically, don't use any of the crack versions. That's the reason I'm proposing you to use ZAMOV. And already I gave one of the recently published paper reference where we have used ZAMOV software to perform the entire confirmatory factor analysis as well as regression analysis to test our three-way interaction effect and so on. So with this note, let me close the session. So till we have another 5 minutes. Yeah, any questions? Any questions?
And the floor is open. You can ask.
Yeah, you can also share whatever maybe the softwares which you are using currently for your research or maybe for teaching purpose, so that I'll also get to know about other packages or other platforms available in the literature. There could be other softwares also beyond the list which I have given in my website. And I just want to show you one more information here. You go to my site. So especially this resources page. So if you're coming from commerce and management background, so based on my past experience for the last 10 plus years of my research experience, so I just compiled some of the useful resources that might be useful to the research community. If you're a new scholar, you just go to this page. So you read whatever maybe the references I have mentioned here. I think this is more than sufficient in terms of completing your PhD if you're falling under management and commerce background. And if you click this resources menu to understand something more about OER, there's a separate page available to understand some of the data analysis related stuffs. So there are my own videos are uploaded here. Part of the SWAYAM course have contributed some of the videos related to SEM, mediation, moderation, moderated mediation, and so on. So So those video links are copy pasted here, and then other details related to open source software. And then you have recently I have started an initiative called giving scale details. For example, I have a construct in my study that is work family config, and I'm looking for some standard scale. I do not know which scale I can use it. So you just come to this place. Still, I'm trying to update this page basically. So I just compiled some of the scale details here. This might be useful to you. And if you are willing to contribute your knowledge for this particular initiative, there is a Google form link available here. You just click this link, and then whatever may be the scales, standard scales which you have used in your research work to measure certain things, you can provide those details in this Google form so that I can incorporate all those scale details in this page. So it's a live page basically. I have given viewing rights to the audience, but I do have the editing rights. Now and then I used to update this particular initiative. I mean, last week only I have started this initiative. Feel free to share this link with your colleagues, and feel free to contribute something for this initiative. So once again, I'm sharing my site link here. So for more details, you go there. Really thankful to you, sir, for this one. Yeah. Any other questions or comments or any suggestions, or you would like to share something here? Any other questions?
Participants, you are requested to give any suggestions, anything you can share now.
People are not asking any questions. There's a kind of ritual these days. So online meeting means first thing is mute your video, mute your microphone, keep the system, sit in front of the system.
Sir. No, sir. Maybe some of them are now only we get to know how to use the SAMOV and all thing. Once we explore, we could get more questions and we could ask you. Yes,
yeah, that's fine, ma'am.
That's
fine. Yeah.
It's very wonderful.
One of the person is going to ask some question. I think Ramya ma'am, you can ask.
No, ma'am. I just wanted to ask, sir, for qualitative research, is there some software like this? Because just now we came to know. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I have compiled some resources here. There is a software called the Atlas TA. So you go to my data analysis resources page. There I have given some 7 references in terms of using some of the software packages for qualitative data analysis. NVO is not a open source package. It's a commercial package. Unless you have the license, you will not be able to run anything. Of course, educational license can be procured. With the help of that, you can do some minimal level of analysis using NVO, but it's a paid software.
Sure, sir. Thank you. Actually, only after after this session, we came to know that open sources, so many softwares are available. I'm really thankful to you, sir. Thank you,
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Could you kindly give explanation on Bayesian analysis and its purpose of usage? Okay, very big question. We can have another session also to understand this. See, this Bayesian is another paradigm basically. So if you need more details, I can share some of the reading resources as well as some of the textbook references. So in Bayesian estimation, the beauty is we get the credibility intervals in the place of confidence interval. Interpretation is almost same only. We do have provision to fix the prior probability values with the help of the current data as well as prior probability values. You can estimate the posterior probability values. So this approach is highly robust and one of the non-parametric approach. So we need not to bother about this non-normality issue and those sort of issues. So straight away you can go and do the Bayesian analysis. So well accepted in top-tier journals, but less awareness is existing among the scholars community. But again, we don't have much resources who can teach us the real concept of Bayesian methodology. But a lot of packages and a lot of YouTube tutorials, a lot of references are available. You just type Bayesian estimation Google Scholar, you get any number of references. Yeah, any other questions? I
think anything, then I will post you personally, sir. Then We'll go for the vote of thanks because the time is going out. I would now call upon Dr. Anuradha, she assistant professor. Ma'am, are you there? Ma'am, Anu ma'am. I would now call upon Dr. Anuradha, assistant professor, Sri Shankarlal Srinivasishan College, to propose the vote of thanks. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I just want to thank you, sir.
Just little bit louder, ma'am. That's all.
Thank you, sir, for showing us a journey with a good relevant tool for research scholars.
Ma'am, your voice is not audible, ma'am. Anu, ma'am. No, ma'am. Just leave the session and come again. Then it is possible. I think so. Please do it.
Ma'am, it is audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir, for showing us a Geomi as a different option from SPS software. It's a valuable tool for the research scholars, the people who have joined this PDP program. And I just go for an informal vote of thanks. I'm honored to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of organizing team from Shoshan Tibbles Jain College and Aya Nadar Janagi Amman College, Sivakasi. We are immensely grateful to our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. P. Murugan, Assistant Professor, School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad, for sparing his valuable time and enlightening us with his remarkable presentations on data analysis using Geomi. He cleared our doubts and enhanced our understanding of subject with his commendable demonstration. He also provided with valuable support in enriching our PDP program. We could also like to thank all the participants for their active involvement and contribution to this event. And but not the least, we appreciate the efforts of organizing team for making this event a success. Thank you all for your attention and cooperation. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks to everyone. And
thank you,
feel free
sir.
to.
I think we will have a separate workshop for Zamobi to reach more to the students. I think so. It is a wonderful session, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah, thanks to everyone.
Thank you,
and
sir.
feel free to reach
Thank
me
you, sir,
if you
for
have
the
any
informative.
questions. I'm typing my mobile number as well as email ID in the chat box. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Speaker